Good morning. Let's take a look at yesterday. We're going to get to stage this week, but there won't be any football. So these preview videos might just look again.
This market is now in play.
Might just look again at this averaging, which will be an interesting tool for us in this new season. Having a look at yesterday, as far as the starred tennis was concerned, these were the ones which caught my eye. As far as readability is concerned, as you can see, Struff getting through, so no trade there. Fabio continuing his excellent form, old Foggy. So he might be one to keep an eye out on in these lesser tournaments. He's in a real bit of form since Wimbledon. And Dominic Thiem, I would have taken a Dominic Thiem lead on, I think, in that particular match. Maxwell Martero would have been the one I would have been favouring against Kwon, and Cerundolo and Squire was cancelled. Vukic, again, I would have had a clear indicator here to expect Vukic to do the job. So any Wong service win or Wong set win, I would have taken on. So I like this little tactic, particularly in non-Grand Slams, where my knowledge of tennis players is a little light, particularly in the ladies' game. Just starring the ones where you have personal familiarity with can help you hone in on
this market has been suspended.
A possible trading match. This was yesterday's football and very little to excite. Hacker and Ilves, a couple of occasions, I suppose you could have taken those draws on the 2-2. And I think we had a 3-3 as well. So a couple of occasions you could have taken a couple of these Desmonds. I call it a Desmond 3-3. Desmond 2-2 on. Halmstad and AIK. Well, any late draw was the main neutral play. Did that come into effect? Not really. It wasn't a draw. It was a 0-2 lead. So in that regard, we didn't get any late draw. But certainly the draw was the neutral angle, should it occur. So very, very much a quiet day yesterday, deserving of a day off. On to today, and we're on to Champions League qualifiers, as well as the Scottish League Cup. Now, the latter, I think, will be competitive today and readable. Looking at the Champions League qualifiers, it's very little I can add to it, but I have taken these through the ringer for you. But when you're playing sides from two such different countries and whose quality of football is not exactly up there with the best, I hope you'll find something of use. Over 2.5 goals, both teams to score are possible. HJK have to get back their deficit. Will they do it? Well, they're 1.2 favourite today. So why on earth didn't they show up in the last match? So they must score the first 3 goals, HJK. That's why they're 1.2. So at least we're getting some trading angles from the first legs. Lincoln Red Imps, 1-0 advantage over Hamrun Spartans, so it's job not yet done. 2.37 the favourite, suggesting the market's giving Hamrun a chance here. Punic and Dinamo Minsk, again 2.45 the favourites, telling you it's they can't read this match. Scores are level after the opening leg, so all to play for. Celje and Flora, well, it looks like an obvious display. 5-0 win for Sedglet in the first match. They don't need to win, so just be a little wary here. They can go through with a tolerable loss or a draw. So 1.07 does look very ropey, though they're quite clearly the better side. Dekic and the New Saints. I think the New Saints have a 3-0 lead in the first round. They'll be delighted with that. So they can afford a 2-0 defeat today and still qualify. So just be wary. Teams who don't need to win very rarely do. Shamrock Rovers and Viking Gore, 2.4 the favourite, another tricky one. Let's have a look. 0-0 after the first match. So all to play for Shamrock with home advantage. Can they take advantage of that and get through? It's a very tough match to call. But it's going for both teams to score over 2.5 goals and a possibility of a first half goal. Not the greatest coupon on the planet. Scotland as well. We had some tradable matches in Scotland in the first set of League Cup matches, so I'm expecting something here today. We've got some familiar names: Dundee FC, Dundee United, Dunfermline, Hamilton, Old Diddy David, Hibernian, Motherwell. A few SPL sides are out today as well. Queen of the South and Wraith Rovers. So I'm hoping that we'll get a trade or two. And if I'm up and about 7:45, I'll certainly be following these because I think there will be a trade or two available. Tennis-wise, and again, I'm going to do what I did yesterday. It's just to star the matches which catch my eye. So let's have a look. Thiago Monteiro should be good on clay, the South Americans. Taro Daniel, familiar name, but 1.73 the favourite. Van Ascher, familiar name from the grass court. Muller. This Nagel can be a royal pain. He's like a terrier. So if he's a favourite, I expect him to do the job. He tends to keep his opponent's service games very pressurised, which is always a good thing. Rafa Nadal, 1.01. Layable all day long at those odds. And Borges against Pellegrino. Any reason for such a short price favourite? Well, 51st in the world. Not the best ranked favourite you'll ever see. But he'll get my idea. Richard Gasquet, not favourite against Quentin Hallis, but it could still give him a game. Berrettini, familiar from Wimbledon. Van der Zandschulp, familiar name. And Stan, local lad in Switzerland, still a world-class player. I think he can do the job against Klein. And in Hamburg, Rune, familiar name. See, we don't know, this is a problem with this. It's a kind of a switching off. They're not in Grand Slam mode at the moment, these players. Because it's the end of September, if I'm correct. We're not even in August. So they're just picking up the old paycheck because this is not even the US Open surface. So this is my problem with these kind of tournaments. This is the working man tournaments, the journeyman tournaments. Nakashima has always impressed me, so he'll get a look in. Harris. That will do fine. Rindig Kanek, lowly ranked 66th. Again, I don't like those rankings for favourites. In the ladies' game, Budapest, again, just lacking that knowledge of these lesser known players, making it difficult for me to latch on to a particular match. Chloe Paquet, full of fight, even when an outsider. So when you're favourite, expect her to really do the job today. So I would take on any Zheng lead here. There's another Zheng. Wonder if they're related. Petra Martic. So some familiar names today in the ladies. But I'll be more retrospective trading, I think, rather than with my real money until I get a handle on these lesser known tournaments. I'm not sure of the mentality of the players because it's a big gap from Wimbledon to the US Open. So that's it for today. I will be around for the early kickoffs in Europe. I'll try to make it for 7:45, but you do know that's 1:45 a.m. where I am for the Scottish League Cup. Oh boy, it's going to take some persuading to stay up for that. But I think it is a tradable tournament. We got some trades in the first round, predominantly laying draw second half, and I think Partick against Montrose were very effective as well. Have a great day, and Telegrammers, I'll see you on Telegram throughout the day, probably 3:30 start.